How would you rate your life in Taiwan? 1 to 10. I would say 8.
I think the life quality is very good, or enjoyable.
The safety that I experienced in Taipei, it felt really good.
They are very, very open-minded and they're super easy to make friends with.
You can go wherever you want. You know that nothing's gonna happen to you.
I could go on and on about how I love Taiwan. So.
87个有所色调。台湾这几年在国际观光非常的有名，甚至非常多国际著名的 YouTuber 都来台湾这边观光。所以呢，今天我想实际走访欧洲当地，访问那些曾经来台湾住过的欧洲人，他们会如何评价台湾的生活？他们在台湾的经验是什么
So can you tell us where you're from and have you ever lived in Taiwan? Yes, I'm from Paris in France. I have lived 1 year in Taipei.
I'm from France. I've been to Taiwan. I was living in Taiwan for maybe if you put it all together, 3 or 4 years.
How would you rate your life in Taiwan? 1 to 10. I would say 8.
Probably 8.5 or 9.
8? That's pretty high. Yeah.
Why?
Really loved it. Because I thought it was really easy to live in Taiwan. Like in Taipei, first it's so safe, which I really liked compared to Paris, for example. Some things like the 7-Eleven, which I really loved.
So convenient.
Yeah, you can literally buy anything, like, you know, from the 7-Eleven. You can pay your rent, you can pay, I don't know, the taxis, you can do everything. Everything is so smooth and people are nice. Yeah, really love it.
Because Taiwan is so nice. First, the people are so welcoming. There's not a lot of tourists because no one really knows about Taiwan. I mean, maybe now, lately a bit more because it's in the news, but before, no one really knew about Taiwan and everyone is like, yeah, Thailand, I heard about it. So they're confused. But people don't think about going to Taiwan on their holidays, so it's not really crowded there. I really like that. A lot of delicious food. The advantage compared to China, for example, if you go to the north of China, you'll get northern Chinese food, and if you go to the south, you get southern Chinese food. In Taiwan, there's a lot of Chinese immigrants, and they come from everywhere in China. In Taiwan, you get all the Chinese food, kind of like a melting pot. It's very diverse. And then lastly, I think it's super beautiful. Taipei is a beautiful city. I think it's a big mix of new building and old buildings, so I like that. Taiwan in general is amazing because it's quite small. For European, you can compare it to the size of Belgium. The spectrum of a different landscape is much higher in Europe, of course, because if you go to the south, you really have like Mediterranean vibe, and if you go to the north, you have like Northern European vibe. So of course, Taiwan doesn't have that much diversity. It's still just like a 400-kilometer island.
German.
So for things I like to explore and feeling like it's very different from home, I already find a lot of satisfaction in exploring Taiwan, I think.
So you are talking about all the good things. What about the cons of living in Taiwan, would you say? I would say probably if I were to work there, the long working hours. Yeah, that's why I didn't really want to say it. So you go there, live there, but probably working for someone, like a company that outside of Taiwan. Maybe, I think for me that's the major challenge. To really living there like on a daily basis. What does Taiwan mean for you? So it was the first time that I lived abroad. Since then I've lived to Argentina, Spain, I'm in Spain. But so it was really, for me, it means independence, I guess. And also expanding my views. I think it's always so great when you get to, you know, see another lifestyle, another mentality, culture. And I mean, Taiwanese lifestyle and mentality is so different from French mentality that really, I think like means to me growth and expanding my views on the world. And
for me, it means a lot because of my personal experience. The first time I went to Taiwan, I was only 16 and I was doing a high school exchange. So I lived for 1 year in a host family and I was going to Taiwanese high school. So it was such a mind-opening experience. At that time of my life, like up until I was 16, I just lived in the south of France and that's it. Like my perimeter of action was quite narrow. And when I arrived in Taiwan, everything was so different and it was a completely different, it was a completely different lifestyle. I could get to places, I could meet people from around the world. So after I left Taiwan, after that first year in Taiwan, it really opened my mind and it made me realize that I wanted to expand my boundaries and go out of my comfort zone. So for me, Taiwan was kind of the catalyst of change. It was a big event in my life. It means a lot to me, I think. I could go on and on about how I love Taiwan. So.
What do you think the biggest change that Taiwan has brought to you? Yes, I think maybe what I just said actually about like changing your mentality on things and realizing, I think in the Western world we always think that, how can I say that? That's, you always like think, okay, this is the point of view of everything is from our point of view, you know? So And you realize when you go, well, like when I went to Taiwan and to other parts of Asia, that it's like so completely different. You know, that like, for example, I don't know, the seems like music, films, politics, everything is really not centered on what we think it's centered on. I think really helped me change that. Sorry, I don't even remember the initial question.
No, the biggest change.
Yeah, the biggest thing I think was that, to realize that, it's not like everything is so related. We all have in the world our point of view and not.
It's like a totally different reality.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say.
Yeah.
Would you like to live Taiwan for long term?
I think so. Actually, in my plans, I didn't want to go to Taiwan right after I finished my university to find a job there because I was worried I'll just get too comfortable and then I die there.
And you never leave.
Spend my whole life there. I still want to discover more places, and then I think Taiwan has a big challenge for me to settle down there. I think the life quality is very good. People are enjoyable. I don't know if it will be a good place to raise kids because I think kids in the Taiwanese system are under a lot of pressure. On one hand, very good because there's a lot of discipline and people are hardworking, but on the other hand, I think it's kind of missing the point of education should just like open your mind rather than just constrain you to learn some textbooks. It's a lot of years of your time of your life that is spent in the notebooks where you could also go out and play or explore some hobbies.
Learn from the nature. And
also, the Taiwanese nature is really nice. So you can also just go on a hike.
For a few years, yes. For a very long term, I'm not actually sure because although I loved it so much, I feel like it's really so different from my culture that maybe I would miss some. And also, it's so far away from my family.
Yeah.
Like, all the people I love, that I think that would be a bit hard. But I would happily go back for 2 years.
Do you consider you are a different person when you were in Taiwan and in Europe?
Difficult question.
Yes.
In the beginning, yes, I think, because before I was 16, I was just like a high school student in France, and then I went to Taiwan, and so many people come into my life, and they come from different places, so it kind of opened my mind. When I went back to France after that, it was very difficult to maintain this open-mindedness, still like kind of a shock, and I didn't know how to adjust my two personalities or my two behaviors, I think. But I think the more I grow a bit older and I'm able to merge these personalities, and now I think I'm not so different. It was a process to merge my personalities so I can kind of be the same person all the time.
Take a little bit from everywhere.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Which Taiwanese food is your favorite?
Dumplings?
Dumpling?
Yeah.
What kind of dumpling?
Xiao long bao?
Xiao long bao.
Yeah.
I know you cannot really find it anywhere else.
Yeah, it's so good. I really love it. I have such a good memory of that. I actually love I guess maybe it's not the most typical, I'm not sure, but we were going to Din Tai Fung a lot, and I thought it was really good. And then, just like the neighborhood shops, I don't remember the name. Like we had one that I remember, I think it's a chain, it's a yellow... I don't remember.
It's like a chain store.
Yeah, I think so.
That one.
Maybe it's not the best, but to me, like, it was really
But
good.
it's good enough.
Yeah.
What would you say the biggest impact that Taiwan brought to you?
It's difficult to summarize. I think for me, again, because I was very young the first time I went to Taiwan, the biggest thing was don't judge the book by the cover. Taiwanese are so different from French, so if I try to apply my judgment on Taiwanese, then it doesn't work. I don't have the correct criteria to estimate if a person is trustworthy, if a person is funny. It kind of cut out all my judgment. So now when I meet someone, I will be more open to just see what that person is and have a conversation and not just stop by, I don't like how that person behaved the first 2 minutes that I met. It taught me to be open-minded, I think.
Do you think Taiwanese is like pretty open-minded?
I think so, actually. You can still see quite a bit of a difference within Taiwan when I hang out with people, because I'm lucky that I can speak Chinese, so I'm able to talk to kind of different types of people and very local people. I think you can still see a difference between Taiwanese who always stayed in Taiwan and Taiwanese who like maybe just went on holiday somewhere outside of Asia or something like this. The latter, the people who traveled a bit, they are very, very open-minded and they're super easy to make friends with. The more local Taiwanese people are super nice, but you kind of have to scratch the surface a little bit and help them make you feel comfortable, I think. Because Most of them that I met, they're super nice, but it's just in the beginning they will be very shy and they will stay very polite. So I joke around a lot and I use a lot of sarcasm, which is not common in Taiwan. So they might be a bit confused by sarcasm. So if I meet a Taiwanese, I know that in the beginning I need to hold off on the sarcasm.
What are the difference between your Taiwanese life and European life? Like I said before, maybe the safety that I experienced in Taipei, it felt really good. Like I think for me that's maybe the main difference, that you can go wherever you want, whatever time you go you want, like mostly you know that nothing's gonna happen to you. I also felt like the times were different than here in Europe, in the sense that, I don't know, it was my feeling, but also I was a student, so maybe it's different when you work, I'm not sure. But for example here, so we have really these clear times where like you have breakfast and then lunch and then dinner and then you go to bed. And I remember in Taipei, you can randomly find people at 4 a.m. having like a coffee or a hot chocolate and playing chess, and I was like, I don't know, that's something like you not probably see here.
Right.
Or randomly people are sleeping in the cafeteria at like 2 p.m. And I don't know, it felt like that's more, and I felt like also because maybe people actually eat like every 2 hours, like something more, or every 1 hour more than here, so it's more like, I don't know, it felt like there's not such a more
like a fixed schedule for everyone.
Schedule. Yeah.
Like everyone kind of have their own, I don't know, schedule.
Yeah.
But it can be really random.
Yeah. That was funny.
That's very funny.
Yeah.
好啦，那就是今天我们的影片。每次看到外国人分享他们在台湾的经验，觉得都非常开心，而且也觉得很开心，有越来越多外国人来台湾观光啊，甚至是居住。留言告诉我，你们身边有没有越来越多外国人来台湾观光，甚至居住呢？喜欢的话，记得帮我按赞、分享、加订阅。那就这样啦。